The owner of a small car repair shop got fabulously rich with the help of ordinary nails. Find out how they managed to do it from the recap of the movie Nailed. Jae-gu and Soon-young are a married couple living in a small Korean town. They run a small car repair shop, but there are hardly any customers. One day, Jae-gu heads to a large construction company and demands compensation from its owner for the waste that is constantly scattered by passing trucks. The man accidentally knocks down the owner's child and is immediately taken away by security guards for doing so. At the police station, Jae-gu is scolded for misbehavior. One of the cops tells the protagonist rumors that his father-in-law is going to sell the store that Jae-gu rents for his business, which means their family will be on the brink of poverty. Running home, Jae-gu spots a broken-down truck on the side of the road. The driver shows up and confesses that he wants to send it to the scrapyard. Jae-gu replies that he can drive the truck for a few more years. All it needs is a new valve. Meanwhile, Soon-young is making handmade dolls while watching commercials for fancy dresses on TV. Jae-gu comes home, argues with his wife and goes for a walk. The man wants to buy beer at the local grocery store, but he doesn't have enough money. Jae-gu sits down at the table outside the store, and suddenly a little girl brings him a can of beer. It turns out to be the granddaughter of the store owner. He used to drive this little girl to school. The grandmother remembers his kindness and wants to help the poor man. Jae-gu takes his first sip of the beer, but someone immediately knocks the can out of his hands. Mr. Moon, the head of the car service association, stands in front of the man, along with his sidekicks. They beat up Jae-gu for the advice he gave to the truck owner. It turns out that Mr. Moon had intended to fool the naive driver and take away his supposedly broken-down truck, but Jae-gu spoiled the cunning plan. A little later, we find out that Mr. Moon is secretly in love with Soon-young, and that's why he hates her husband so much. A few days later, Soon-young visits her family alone. A little while later, Jae-gu comes to their house and hears his wife's parents humiliating him and calling him a loser. He is offended and immediately drives back home, dropping the cake he bought and kicking it angrily. At that moment, Jae-gu notices a white car pulling over to the side of the road. It has a flat tire caused by a puncture, and the protagonist replaces it amidst the night. The man explains to the driver that the trucks driving from the construction site are constantly dropping various waste on the road. Jae-gu asks for a higher fee for his work, since it's already too late. The driver has no choice but to accept. Jae-gu is very satisfied and walks to the road to check if there's any more debris lying around. He finds some sharp pieces of metal, and that's when Soon-young returns home. They start arguing again, and Jae-gu brags about the money he's earned to settle the conflict. At night, the man thinks about everything that happened to him today, and he goes to the road to scatter a lot of different debris on it. It's a crazy and really risky plan, but it works. Soon-young wakes up her husband spouting that a customer has shown up at their car repair shop. It's the local constable, and he also has a flat tire. Jae-gu quickly changes the tire and sells the man a spare wheel. This time, he doesn't demand too much money for his services, but the satisfied constable pays even more than what was required for the repair. Soon-young is overjoyed and hurries to prepare a delicious dinner for her husband. Jae-gu is waiting for a new customer, but all the cars pass by his workshop. The man is surprised by this and heads to the road again. However, there is no scattered waste anymore. Jae-gu sees the trucks from the construction site pushing the garbage to the side of the road with their huge wheels. The man is angry but isn't going to give up. He stays in his repair shop until nightfall, crafting many sharp pieces of metal. When Soon-young falls asleep, he quietly walks to the road and scatters them all over it. All of a sudden, someone appears behind his back. It's Soon-young. The woman really doesn't like her husband's risky venture, because it may cause a serious accident. What's more, Jae-gu may end up in jail for such deeds. The man justifies himself by saying that this road is used only by rich people and tourists, from whom he doesn't feel ashamed to take money. Besides, he wants to raise money so he can buy the store from his father-in-law. After some thought, Soon-young agrees to be his accomplice. Day after day, Jae-gu's car repair shop gets new customers with flat tires tires. The man proudly brags to his wife about the wads of money he's earned. Soon-young is excited that she can finally afford decent food. One day, a beautiful rich woman is driving down the road. She is Yeri, the wife of the construction company owner, the same one who once drove Jae-gu away and refused to pay him any compensation. Yeri's car runs over a sharp piece of metal, and the woman miraculously avoids hitting a pole on the side of the road. She sees Jae-gu's repair shop nearby and asks him to change the tire. While the man is busy working, his wife tries to treat Yeri to a drink or engage her in a friendly conversation. However, the woman treats Soon-young dismissively because of her low social status. Yeri notices Soon-young's homemade dolls and finds out that they are very cheap, only 5 won each. Out of pity, the rich beauty buys one of the dolls for as much as 10,000 won. Soon-young feels completely humiliated. Jae-gu demands a huge sum of money from the beautiful rich woman for 2 tires. Yeri is outraged, but she takes a wad of money from the trunk and counts out the required amount before humiliating the couple once again and driving away. Soon-young is very envious of the narcissistic Yeri and dreams of becoming just as rich, so she actively supports her husband's risky venture, bringing him drinks and even holding a flashlight at night, while Jae-gu scatters new pieces of metal on the road. What's more, she suggests that her husband nails the pieces of metal right to the road, so he doesn't have to come back every night. To do this, he needs to get some very long nails. Suddenly, a police car appears on the road, and the main characters hide the traces of their crime in panic. The officers wonder what they're doing on the road in the middle of the night, and the couple lies that Jae-gu lost his wallet here. Fortunately, the policeman doesn't notice anything suspicious. The next day, there are no customers at the car repair shop because the protagonists have removed all the waste from the road at night. Jae-gu takes the opportunity to go to the store for his favorite beer and takes the seller's granddaughter for a ride on his scooter, while Soon-young goes to a beauty salon and gets her hair done for the first time in years. Rumors about Jae-gu and Soon-young's strange enrichment reach Mr. Moon, and he finds it rather suspicious. At night, our cunning married couple goes to the road again. This time, they have a drill and a hammer, so they securely drive a few nails into the asphalt. At the same time, a police car pulls up to Mrs. Yeri's house. It turns out that someone has kidnapped her young daughter. The detectives ask the woman if she has any enemies. Yeri rummages through the bag and finds a doll she bought from Soon-young earlier. At the station, one of the police officers recalls seeing Jae-gu and his wife on the road at night. Moreover, the man seems to have a suspiciously large amount of money lately. Jae-gu and Soon-young are unaware of this and chat merrily about buying a safe to keep the money in and also 10 new dresses. Late at night, the man is caught on the road and gets arrested. At the station, Jae-gu is shown a photo of the missing girl and is demanded to confess to his crime. His house and store are searched. Soon-young's father arrives and instead of supporting her, he scolds his daughter for marrying a loser. Finding no evidence, the police set Jae-gu free. Waking up in the morning, the man immediately takes his tools and continues his illegal work, despite his wife's pleas to be more careful and to take at least a short break. After finding out about the latest developments, Mr. Moon decides to keep an eye on Jae-gu and asks his brother, who works as a policeman, for help. They take turns following the couple in hopes of finding something suspicious. At night, Mr. Moon witnesses Soon-young walking to the road and diligently drilling something in the roadway. As the woman walks away, he notices a nail hammered into the road and realizes that that's why the couple has so many customers. Jae-gu and Soon-young are unaware that they've been exposed and comfortably enjoy a delicious meal at a local cafe. One day, an elderly couple driving to the hospital gets a flat tire right next to Jae-gu's repair shop. While the man is changing the punctured tire, Soon-young goes to the grocery store and meets Mr. Moon. He reveals that he saw her on the road last night and knows what she was doing there. The man asks Soo-young to visit him alone, and in that case, he promises to keep her secret. At night, Jae-gu and Soon-young suffer from insomnia. The woman asks her husband what will happen if someone finds out about their scam. He replies that he will solve the problem somehow. The next day, Soon-young makes a tough decision and heads to Mr. Moon's house. After getting everything he wants, the man asks his policeman brother to not follow the family anymore. Soon-young feels sad and suffers because of her actions. To cheer herself up, she agrees to go shopping with her friends. The woman returns home late at night. She has a new dress, a new hairstyle, and a bunch of shopping bags. Jae-gu complains about the unprepared dinner, but Soon-young ignores her husband and spends half the night in the shower, after which she spends another sleepless night crying bitterly. Some time passes. One day, an accident happens near the repair shop and a car drives off the road. Jae-gu runs to the driveway to pull out the nails and sees a frightened man with glasses getting out of the car. Noticing Jae-gu, the driver immediately rushes away as if he's guilty of something. Jae-gu approaches the car and finds the kidnapped girl inside. Reporters immediately arrive at the scene of the accident. They interview Jae-gu and call him a real hero. Soon-young's father no longer considers his son-in-law a loser, but rather praises him and says he likes him very much. For saving the child, Jae-gu receives a large cash reward and buys his father-in-law's store. The man also purchases an expensive car and many new outfits for his wife. A brightly colored electric sign appears on the repair shop. In the daytime, they drive their new car, and in the evening, they dine at the best restaurants in town. They feel really lucky. On one of those carefree days, Jae-gu, wearing a fancy business suit, drinks his favorite beer outside a local store and suddenly notices a police car. It turns out there's been an accident on the road. A frightened Jae-gu goes to the hospital and finds out that it was his nail that caused the accident. Mr. Moon finds him outside the hospital and reveals that he knows everything about this scam. Jae-gu goes home with tears in his eyes. Soon-young is standing on the road at this time, hammering in new nails. Seeing this, Jae-gu honks at her for a long time. Afterward, he breaks into the house and starts tearing up all the money hidden there. Soon-young screams and tries to stop her mad husband. A fight breaks out between them, and the sobbing woman confesses to her husband how she's been paying for Mr. Moon's silence. Jae-gu then returns to the road to remove all the nails from there. However, they are stuck so deep they can't be removed. The next morning, while Soon-young is doing her makeup, Jae-gu borrows a truck and drives down the road, hoping to bend those nails with such a heavy weight, so they won't hurt anyone else. Do you think the wheels of the truck managed to bend the nails, or were they punctured as well? Subscribe to the channel and don't break the law. I'll see you later.